Welcome back to another edition of In the 1-1. I'm here with my man Tommy Forward. How are we?
Good, mate. How are you?
Mate, can you believe next week is the Golden Slipper?
Yeah, flying around. I can't believe it, honestly. Then we'll have Doncaster, TJ. It's all coming up.
I think the Melbourne Cup's like a couple of weeks away.
Yeah.
This year is, I think I'm officially getting old because they say the years get faster. We've gone from the donkeys that ran around summer to quality horses like deep into autumn carnival now.
Yeah, proper. This is peak time.
Peak time. Yeah, Slipper next week. Last week was a meeting didn't like. I only like the one horse, found contemporary.
Mm-hmm.
No, not contemporary. Commemorative.
Oh, yeah, the Blue Jacket.
Blue Jacket,
Mm-hmm.
one bet, one win. Other than that, yeah, it was a card that I just couldn't get excited on. What did you make of the run of Waterton?
I just don't know if there's a 2-year-old that stood up this season. I thought it was all right.
I think it had every reason to be flat after its last sore back.
Yeah. I think if I'm a bookie, I'll probably give you $4 for the Slipper, $5. I think it's very open. Yeah, even with the favours, J-Mac's still going to stick with it. I mean, everyone just can't get that dynamic win out of its head, right? Like out of their head. I think he's a bit like Joel Star, who also won on the weekend. He's like that dynamic win last season when you tipped it that day, how dynamic it was off the trials. It started favourite at an Everest, but it's just a bit hit and miss. And I think might be the same with Woderton. Has had excuses, but I think
it definitely had this
a soft track. I think.
You think might be better?
Yeah, toe in.
It's just so hard. The biggest issue with 2-year-olds are you want things to go their way and you don't want to have bad setbacks or sore backs and it definitely copped a sore back and had a run that could have taken out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could have been flat. One of the guys in our BTFU chats knows the owners and apparently Wallace said, don't stress, this isn't grand final day and it isn't the day that I'd be backing him.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that was good to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he only cares about one race, doesn't he?
Yeah, he only cares about one race. So I think if he draws a gate still, I think he'll be pretty hard to beat. I think it's a pretty good combination going into it.
Yeah.
But that's next week. Let's go through this week. We're just going to focus on Rosehill because I think Caulfield's a pretty average card, really.
Yeah, not much happening down there.
We start off with the Pago.
Mm-hmm.
We got West of Swindon, $3.20 favourite. You got we've got Skyhook at the $4 mark, and we've got United States $7.50 single, and then double digits the rest. What's the speed look like?
Not too much speed, but I got Dusty Bay leading, Barbarossa, Skyhook copped a checkered run last start. I think with clearer running, it can settle forward from 5. West of Swindon gate forward, it's got all the options in the world. Probably find a nice midfield position. Kilman from its inside draw, I think can also find a nice run. But yeah, average tempo in this race, I think. Bit of a tricky one. I didn't really have any strong opinion with the 2-year-olds. I thought West of Swindon deserved to be favourite off that nice second last start at the same track, up 100 metres. Fitness improvement, second up. But like we were just saying with Waller, it's hard to back these horses when this isn't their grand final, right? Waller's getting Woderton ready, and I think a lot of these trainers are getting these horses ready for the next weekend.
It's a tricky one. Is West of Swindon in the field yet?
I'm not sure. I'd have to go look at prize money and stuff.
So, it's a bit of a tricky one. I know there was huge raps on United States before he raced. His first run was very good. Second run, completely forgive run, wide without.
Mm-hmm.
Wide throughout, not without.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Kilman.
Mm-hmm.
We found it last start. It was sensationally backed late on debut.
Mm.
Good run, still very raw. I thought he looks like he's a horse will be even better when he hits 1,400 plus, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
I think you then go to, I'll tell you there was one that I thought interesting win was State Visit, one of Kieran Mars. Really if you pause this at the 500 at Canterbury and said, what price do you have this horse after watching the 2 furlongs prior, you would have said 4 million the way. It was off the bit, not doing anything. And the way that it picked up and let down at Canterbury was impressive.
Mm-hmm.
This is a bit of an interesting race. I've always had a rap on West of Swindon.
Mm-hmm.
Look, last start, it wasn't, I was a little bit disappointed, to say the least. Willing to forgive it that run. I have it on top.
Yep.
I do have a big opinion of Kilman. I know seems to be still a big rap for United States.
Yep.
Mate, Skyhawk, I tipped the winner in the race. I almost feel like we might have been lucky to collect because it copped a pretty big check.
Yeah, absolutely.
Had to change its passage and then pick itself up on the inside, and it found the line exceedingly well.
Yeah.
It probably maps well here, but gets a very informed Kieran McAvoy.
I think it's a good platform to go into the slipper. I know they don't like to back 2-year-olds up 7 days, tough run, but I like it. I think it's an open race this year, and if you can get sort of a track credentials and a win on the 7-day backup, I think it bodes well coming into the slipper next week.
And how hot? It's going to be pretty hot. It's currently a soft 6, but I reckon we're going to go probably get back to the good range.
Probably back to the good 30 degrees for the next 2 days. No rain around. It'll be dry, I think.
And let me tell you one thing that I know about 2-year-olds is how they parade. And when it gets hot, some of them that can really. So I'm not keen to be betting early here. I'll be watching. So I'm tipping you might even be able to put the lines through a few of these come mounting yard time.
I think Waller might have a few more than Wodersman. I think United States and Kilman can stand up as contenders.
Regardless of whether they win on the weekend, they're both horses that I want to follow, especially Kilman. Yep. I really like this horse, Kilman. Yep. And I do know that they have a big opinion of United States, but they'd want it for the price tag. And let me tell you what State Visit did on debut was pretty impressive.
Yep. Agreed.
Not a bet race for me. I've got Westerwin on top at the moment, but that could change. I'd keep an eye on late mail come Saturday.
Sweet.
We move on to the Magic Night.
Yep. Strata Verena.
Yeah.
Favourite. What do you think of the
win? The win on debut at Canterbury was very solid. I remember when it trialled, I know a friend of his, Dan Cobby's got a share. I remember I went to the official 2-year-old trials, and it was probably one of the better triallers on the day. I think it might have even been close to the fastest time. A very informed stable in Beyond Baker. Win was solid. Do I think it's top class? I don't know about that. I think it was pretty solid. Look, I was having a look at the speed map here. It doesn't look to be a lot of pace on paper. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought it's really screwed into the price tag, isn't it? When punters have gone and looked at the map, seen that it's probably the one that's going to get control again the same way it won at Canterbury, and they've been happy to take the opening quote into 295, I think. That's a bit short for me. I don't think it's got the credentials of a horse that warrants 295. It's not a standout pick for me. I think there's some horses, Artistic Venture, drawn wide, will have to go back again. But this horse has a serious turn of foot, has been unlucky in its races to date, gets J-Mac on. If they want to go too quick up front, this horse will love the tempo. Memo has all the proper 2-year-old form up to this date, like the Gold Coast Magic Millions, the Wyong Magic Millions. But I think it's now been well exposed, and I think we figured out.
Yeah, I thought it got exposed.
Yeah, it's been exposed. I think we figured out that that's not much good. Little watch on Korinska, but it's also drawn wide. Tommy Berry on. Bit of a tricky race. I think the Pago stands out as the stronger 2-year-old race, just looking at sort of the fields, but I guess we'll see what the times say on Saturday. I didn't have many thoughts. What about you, Mace?
Firstly, I want to see how the track plays. By race 4, I reckon we'll have an indication of what it's like. Now, the fact that it is going to drive right out, you would think. Look, it's rail true, so usually it's a predominantly fairish fence is not the place to be. The fact that it could be drawing right out could change it a little bit, but I do. If they are able to be running on, I've got Artistic Venture on top. I don't like backing 2-year-old from barrier 14, but if I do want J-Mac on board because it can solve just about any problem.
Especially the Rosehill 1200, right? Because they just start turning, so you just have to go back. You can't even chance your arm at trying to sit wide.
That's the issue. So and there was a horse in this race at 40-1. You'll probably get bigger odds, and I was hoping. It had drawn a gate because I would have liked to have had a sneaky each way on it, and it's called Polish Playgirl. Hawks first starter. I reckon this horse has stacks of ability. One to keep an eye on. It's not a big play race for me. Strata Verena could get it could get an easy way in front.
Yeah.
And give a kick and be hard to beat. I think Artistic Venture and Polish Playgirl could be nicer horses.
Yep.
Not a
Agreed.
play race. I
Might not get the same favours that Stripe.
Just exactly. Yeah. I'm just a little bit concerned. I really want to have a look at how the track's playing on the day before I start making. It'll be another late play race. But the horses I'm looking at more so are Artistic Venture and Polish Playgirl.
Mm-hmm.
We move on to the filthy 2,000 metre race.
Yeah, small field, sky high stakes. The map is weird. I didn't really look too much at this, and I'm sure you're the same. You probably looked at this race and skipped after 30 seconds. But there's a bit of speed, which makes it interesting for Lindemann. Has got control in its 2 runs this preparation, albeit in stronger company. So I think the price is due to it dropping back in class, but I'm not sure if it'll get control here. Kinesiology, Vauban, Land Legend, Lordship, Circle of Fire, they're all horses that want to settle up on speed, get some control. Kinesiology likes control. Vauban likes to be up there. It's now joined the Gay Waterhouse stable, so I think that they'll have that typical go forward pattern. So yeah, Lindemann brings the class.
Well, it's a funny one, yeah. Lindemann brings class. Mate, the rap on Vauban when he came to Australia for these 2 Melbourne Cups, the rap was that this is the best horse that's ever coming to Australia.
Yeah, it was.
The owners had backed it to win almost as much as it was going to get in prize money, I believe.
Yeah.
It was the world's biggest street corner tip for this horse. Its most recent trial was very good.
Yeah.
Like for a stayer of its type, I was like, and because I always do the race before I look at prices, and I was looking and went Vauban, now with Gay. Mate, the gear changes. I reckon it took them about 15 minutes to type them all in. There's that many of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've certainly had a tinker with some gear.
Figuring it out.
Look, it's a horse that's apparently got oodles and oodles of ability. The last trial, trialled good to the eye, conceding the horse that won the trial, I think, had just won a maiden. But to the eye was a pretty good trial, looks like too. And I thought, you might get a bit of a price. It's $4. Like I was like, this might be $10 because of its 2 fails in Australia.
Coming off a Melbourne Cup fail and time off and stuff, but $5.
From memory as well, I don't think it loved the heat the first year it went to Melbourne. And the fact that it's going to be hot on the weekend, I would
sweat up big time in the Melbourne Cup.
But at the same time as well, it might have settled in and acclimatized to Australia now as well.
Yeah, also true.
There's just like, this is certainly not. And look, Lindemann's last run, phenomenal. I think Nash is riding fantastic. I think it's hard to beat. I don't think there's many stables going as good as Beyond right now. And Arapaho could easily stand up.
It gets the sort of suck run, doesn't it? Gate 1, Rachel's just going to sit. She can either lead or she can just sit in the box seat and let it unfold. I thought it was just as good as Lindemann last start, coming through the same race, 420 versus 230.
Yeah.
It just highlights the depth of the race, right? And the lack of depth, I guess. Kinesiology couldn't have. Lordship I couldn't have. Land Legends too short for me. I think it's the short point in the market, but then it jumps J-Mac on. But well beaten.
Hard to put a line through a whole wall of J-Mac, right? Isn't it?
It's like you look at the form, you look at the jockey, go, it's going to be $5 now, right?
Yeah, you know what? The up to 2,000 will definitely suit it. If you looked at his run, it was still beating a decent way, but he was starting the warm-up late.
Yeah. Might still want further. Same with Vauban.
Well, I think he definitely does. Yeah. Same as
Arapaho is a Group 1 winner over this track and trip. Oh, no, the Tancred, sorry, it won the 2,400.
I think the thing, you know what? This race could be just set up for Lindemann.
Yeah. I think 1 and 2 can battle it out. I think there's
definitely
queries around 3 to 7.
Yep. I'm happy to move on from here.
Yeah. So we spent too much time on that.
Yeah, we spoke for way too long. Now, I believe we have found one together here.
Hope so.
And it's a card where I don't think we've found a lot of early bets, but it's one of those cards as well that I think you could find late bets. And it's one of those days.
Track pattern bets.
Track pattern bets. You just want to see how certain things go on the day and go, all right, you can put a line through a lot of horses once you see the pattern on the day. Race 6, we have now got pretty much equal favourites in Lazura and Declichy Boulevard from Wonder Boy, and then double figures just about the rest. Speed map?
Yeah, we've got Moving Out and Spaceballs drawn wide. They'll like to roll forward. Should get to the front pretty easy, and then they might put the anchor down, and that could shouldn't make it too fast, I don't think. Declichy Boulevard drawn the 3rd widest gate. will settle just off midfield to midfield. Lazura, gate 2, will get a nice run in midfield. And then Wonder Boy from gate 5. I think they'll go back with this horse. They don't like to show too much speed. But yeah, they shouldn't go too quick here. Hopefully the horse I've found has the best turn of foot. I thought it had the best turn of foot in the lead up behind Lady Shenandoah and Lady Camelot. And that's Declichy Boulevard. It says 6th on paper, but it was just as good as run, and it should have finished 3rd. I think it was completely blocked out, impeded.
Did you hear the emphasis? I just saw your voice just had a little bit more oomph in it.
Oh, I looked at it and I did the race. I was like, 12 from 9, and then they come up equal favourite. And I thought Lazura had an unimpeded passage, plenty of time to build through its gears and get through the line. Declichy Boulevard had to stop, change lanes, re-accelerate, and was strong.
To me, it's a 4-length better run.
Absolutely, by far. I think Lazura still wants further than 1,500 too, whereas I think Declichy Boulevard's ready to show a turn of foot over the 1,500.
Yep.
I think Lazura is a better, is it Spring Champion or something over 2,000? I think that's a better race for it. Yeah, all over Declichy Boulevard. And I love that J-Max picked it too. Small bet. You did like Powers of Opal. It's always a horse you've been for. So if it knocks you off, could be a little bit sickening. But at $13, I'm sure you can save on McAvoy. But yeah, what do you think?
Nah, like I'm all over it. It was the big eye-catching run for me.
Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't mind the run of. I liked the win of More Territories start before, but this horse's run was better than More Territories as well.
Yeah.
I'm all over Declichy Boulevard. I think if she can return a similar style run, but far more economical run, gets J-Mac, I'm keen.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the better bets of the day. I think it's a relatively hollowish race. I don't think there's too much to it.
Yeah, and Waller's won this race time in and time out, like with so many horses.
Yeah.
Hungry Heart, Fun Star, very elegant. Like the list goes on throughout the year. So it's always a horse that he likes to get a win on as they progress up to further distances.
Yeah.
I think he's found one again.
Totally agree. Couldn't agree more.
Awesome.
All right, we move on to the Maurice McCartan Stakes.
Tricky, lot of speed. Seems like the same horses are going around against each other week in, week out. These sort of B to C grade sprinters. Time to Boogie, Coal Crusher, The Face, Felix Majestic, Insurrection. There's so much speed in here. Omni Man. Yeah, they're going to fly, I think, here. And some will have to get out of the speed battle or they'll be sitting 6 wide around the turn. Pisanello is the favourite. It'll get the nice race shape to sit off and show its sprint late. Perspiration, gate 3 as well. It'll sit off them too, but no public trial or jump out, so I don't know what to do with that horse. I started with the map. That's how I usually start with my form. And then I threw this race in the bin because I just had no idea who's going to get the right run. Pisanello is the obvious sitting off him, but the market's found at $3.60. I don't think it's a $3.60 chance in my opinion. I think it's more like $5 the field.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one. I did the exact same thing, and I always try and I go through all the runners, then I try and get an understanding of how fast the race is going to be run, who settles where, and there's so many go forward horses in this race. There's so many natural leaders in this race. I don't think they'll go as ballistic as what it looks on paper, but they're genuinely going to go fast. So I wanted to be looking for a horse that's going to sit just off them. I think sometimes there can be a misconception with that you think that you want something that's going to sit last. A lot of the time they get run off their feet.
Absolutely. Especially first up too.
Yeah, and if they've drawn wide or anything, they have to go too far back. I think Pisanello and the horse is Perspiration. This was a weird one. Like I was looking. Perspiration. Its last start was back in September.
Yeah.
When it beat Gatsby's, which was a little bit of a sprue course at the time, has since, like, I think he's a somewhat quality animal.
Yep.
I think he would contest something decent like here. I think it's drawn perfectly in barrier 3, but it hasn't trialled, it hasn't jumped out. It's a funny one. So, like, I desperately want to see it in the yard. Like, it's one right now. I think it's around the $7 mark. And it's one that could start $17 Or it could start $4.60 and they've
Yeah.
truckloaded it because it's absolutely flying.
There's some stink about it, isn't there? Like 53 kilos, no trials, nice gate, just gets a nice run.
And Ash Morgan's on it, 50.
Yeah.
Like, it's just.
There's some stink about it.
There's.
Track and trip winner.
This just looks to me like this could just be the world's biggest each way bet. Or it could have absolutely none. It could just be there having a practice. Like,
and it's the one in the field with upside. Like they've all got 20 to 30 starts, and this horse has 5.
Well, it's got the most upside. I think it and Pisanello and the other horse I was kind of looking at was Eagle's Nest. So Eagle's Nest goes forward, has led most starts, but I don't think it will necessarily lead here. And it could be the one that kind of sits, maybe one out, one back in the 1-1.
Yeah.
It's a really intriguing race. I think they're the 3 horses. I'm kind of hoping one of them scratch. I can just back 2 because I think they're the 3 that I want to be on in this race. I think Perspiration each way is my top pick so far, but I don't I'm struggling this, as I said, suggested earlier, because I need to see it. I need to see some, I need to see it in the yard. I haven't seen a trial for it. It's a really tricky one. I don't really want to be on anything else in the race. I want to touch on Eagle Nest's trial. They ran 53.03. Like they've almost broken into the 52 seconds for the 900 at Rosehill, I believe. That is it was at least a second faster than everything on the day.
Yeah.
It's trialled extremely well, but can I make mention of a horse? And I have been in love with this horse in the past, Briasa. Wow. This horse is low flying. So for anyone watching the show, it isn't nommed anywhere yet. Keep an eye out. You see nominations, see acceptances. I'm saying whatever it is just about in against, I think it would. There's sometimes I see a trial and I just go, I don't care where you go. I don't care what you're against. I'm having something on you.
Yeah.
That was one of those trials. This is a horse that is airborne.
Trialing now, where would it resume? Is it like Hawke's Queensland Carnival?
The only thing it's
Stradbroke?
TJ,
yeah, too soon. I don't know. First up,
it won't be first up, but I think TJ's where it could be going. But it will need it. But so the thing is, because he's like he runs 1,1400 meters.
That's why I thought up to Brisbane Carnival, the BRC size or Stradbroke handicap, something like a 1,400 meters. They could knock that off the Hawks. Like the competitions.
It is nominated for the TJ.
Okay.
And can I tell you, the way that this horse trialled, I've always had a very big rap on this horse, but that was a good trial. Bit of a trial bird. There's one today, the horse of Sarge's that won at on the Kenzo.
Meridian or something.
Meridian.
Yeah.
Nice horse. Tipped it in the chat. I think it's a horse to follow. Sarge is good with these young fillies.
Yep.
By preferment. Definitely a horse to follow.
Yeah,
this race at this point, Perspiration on top. Would like to see a market lead. We won't be betting. I'll be waiting till race day.
Yeah, fair.
Pisanello, but yeah, I've got a very big chance. Look, I totally agree with what you said though. Like, it does seem exceedingly well found.
Yeah,
I know one of the 3 starts outside, but it's coming from midweek level to. These are pretty. Yes, it isn't a high quality race, but they're still quality-ish sprinters.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think Eagle's Nest is certainly a chance.
Yeah.
We move on to race 8.
Race of the day.
The race of the day, Coolmore Classic. Lady Shenandoah, you're getting $2.45 best. You're then getting $7, $6.50 Amelia's Jewel, $7 Lady of Camelot. And Cure Volante is $10. Horse from Melbourne was impressive last start. And in my opinion, rate your ticket the rest. But
yeah, I agree.
I think it's just a genuine 3-horse race. Maybe 4 if you want to include that Melbourne horse.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they'll go. I think Grinzinger Bell would like to control in Melbourne. I think they'll try to control again, but I don't know how quick they'll want to go. I think Lady Camelot will be breathing down its neck. Gate 14. They'll want to lead here. Tim Clark show intent. They showed intent in the flights, not the flight stakes. The Light Fingers, is that it? Is that what I'm thinking? The one that Lady Shenandoah won? I'm pretty sure it's the Light Fingers at Ramwick. Yeah, and they went down.
No, sorry, the surround.
The surround, sorry. The surround stakes.
The light fingers was stuck before.
Yep. That's it. Yeah, Lady Shenandoah found the 1-1 on that occasion in the surround. Not sure it'll find the same from gate 13. I think J-Mac might have to let a few kick up inside him and he'll sort of find it back. Amelia's Jewel draws well, gate 6. Led first up, which was unusual, but I think it won't lead again. I think they'll find a nice spot from gate 6. But yeah, I've got a solid pace. I'm with one of the ladies, but I'm with Lady of Camelot here. I think it gets favours that Lady Shenandoah doesn't get for a defeat last start. Rosehill is more suitable. 1500's more suitable. And being up on speed, I don't know if Lady Shenandoah is going to be on its back like it was last start. They went sort of toe and toe, and Lady Shenandoah just showed its grit, I think, and determination. But if it's those 2 or 3 pairs further back and Lady of Camelot gets sort of a kick on the top of the straight, a fast, dry Rosehill could suit Lady of Camelot. I'm happy to play each way at the 750. You can still get 250 the place. That's the same for Lady Shenandoah to win. I think that's a much better bet. Yeah, Lady of Camelot for me. I think it's almost as good as Lady Shenandoah, and it's going to get a decent race shape and some favours.
Yep.
What do you think?
I'm going a 2-horse play, and I'm going against you. And I'm petrol. I said there's 3 hopes.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with a lot of what you said there. I think I am a little bit concerned to where Lady Shenandoah will get in a run, but I think you're putting your faith in the fact that J-Mac will find the right spot.
Yeah.
I think this is a Group 1. They go solid in Group 1s. There's you get that extra GST, Group 1 GST tempo more often than not.
Absolutely.
And I think from doing that, J-Mac should find 3 wide with cover somehow. You know what he's like. He's not going to be out there facing the breeze.
No.
I loved the return of Amelia's Jewel.
Yeah,
she was so well placed in that race. It was, and the fact that she was able to lead just goes to show.
Oh, she found the front. I was already scanning my ticket.
You already, as soon as she sat there and just cruised, you just knew this is just thank you.
Yeah.
It was just free money. The thing is, she loves dry tracks. I think her best runs are first up, second up potentially as well. I think she's a genuinely good fresh horse.
And run spaced maybe. She might not get that here, but
she might not get that. Yeah, correct. She's ran second at the track before, so she knows it. She was beaten by Macarena that day. There's very much gone off the boil. Mm-hmm. But look, I thought the win was really good. She gets she will get a dry track. It's not now, but it's going to be dry.
Yeah.
They're the 2 that I want to be with here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going there. Look, your horse is the danger. I think it's truly a 3-horse race, and I'm just backing 2 of them to hopefully beat yours.
Yeah.
I think she will map well. Look, she goes from J-Mac to Josh Parr, but Josh Parr's actually running quite well at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
They're the 2 for me. I'm going that way. We're agreeing early and we're against each other.
Yeah, beautiful.
We'll finish off with race 9, the Ajax.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a huge opinion in this race. I'm very interested to see what you have to say. Let's go through the map.
Yeah, I don't have much to say, but I'll say a little bit. Just Fine, New Endeavour, Walado, Sabark. These are some horses that will roll forward. Just Fine from its low draw, I think, can get some control unless someone from out wide. But I think they'll roll at a pretty solid tempo here. Pericles will get a nice run from 8 to sort of sit midfield and run in the running line. Iron and Merc gate 2 could be a little tricky if they all get crossed out wide. Could be sort of 3 or 4 pairs back on the fence. Ducasse as well, the favourite, $4.80 gate 1. That's a little bit tricky for those 2 runners. West of Africa gate 10. This horse has a really strong turn of foot. I think it'll let it all unfold up in front, and hopefully it can show its strong turn of foot, but I think it'll get speed to suit. Tricky race again. They're all trying to sort of get last minute tickets into the Doncaster, right? Like this is sort of a key lead up race. I didn't have too strong of an opinion. Really like West of Africa, showed a really strong turn of foot at Gold Coast 2 back, had improvement. And then last start, it was 5 weeks with a jump out. I thought last start was just a little trial out the back, 11 lengths, hit the line hard. I think this is the race they want to be winning to get into the Doncaster. Yeah. Tyler Schiller, 53 kilos, $11. That's probably where my money's going to head if I had to have a bet. But tricky race and not much. I won't be investing too much.
No, I won't be investing too much either. I do like the two lightweights a bit like yourself. I don't mind West of Africa, and I thought Ducas's win last start was really good.
Mm-hmm.
They're the two that I'm going to go with.
Yep.
We'll go with you for your best bet.
Yeah, sweet. Just two best bets this weekend. Race 6, Rosehill, number 12, Declichy Boulevard. J-Mac on, third up, Waller. This is a target race, I think, for this horse before it goes on to better things over the 2,000 metres. Much better run than Lazura last start, and I think it can show that on Saturday. And then Rosehill, race 8, number 6, Lady of Camelot on an each-way price. I think this horse gets favours, loves Rosehill, and if it's fast and on pace, this horse will love it. Mace, what about you?
I'm the same as my man Tommy Forward here. Declichy Boulevard, race 6, number 12. I think it's the best bet of the day. I thought it was a 4 lengths better run than the other favourite, Lazura, last start. Gets J-Mac. I think we'll get a lot more luck in running, and I think it's by far the best bet on the card. A small each way play, race 7, number 11, Perspiration. Its last win was a little while back at the end of last year over a horse called Gatsby's. Plenty of pace in this race. It's drawn well. I think it'll be storming over the top. It hasn't trialled. It hasn't jumped out. So we'll be keeping a very close eye on the market watch. If it blows, I think it will run accordingly. And if there's money for it late, probably double your bet. Good luck and happy punting. So, yeah, I think that's it. I think we'll just get through this card, and I'm looking forward to Slipper Day.
Yeah, can't wait, mate.
What are you prepared to lose today? Set a deposit limit. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.